So this experience was at a Holiday Inn Express in room 111. So if actually going into the shadow is too scary, is too hard, that expands your understanding of not only the situation, but the energy of the shadow. Welcome, friends. You may notice some ears here because I just filmed a video. I'm in a filming flow and Pepper wanted to come up. So he's here with us too. So I wanted to share something that came up for me in August of 2024. And it just came up in a video that I was filming around understanding, wrapping one's head around the expansion of consciousness, which you can check out here. And what came to me was to film the video around my teaching around shadow work. And so it was August of 2024, and I was on my way back from a Paul Selig retreat. The guides and Paul have been pivotal on my journey. Highly recommend if you're not familiar. I drove. It was a 10 plus hour drive, and I drove. And as I talk about it now, I'm understanding that nudge, even though it didn't really make sense, because I wouldn't have had this experience and many experiences if I hadn't have driven. Many beautiful experiences. So this experience was at a Holiday Inn Express in room 111. When I got the key card, I was like, okay. Thank you. Okay. So I'm in the Holiday Inn Express and I'm staring at the TV stand, as one does. So I'm staring at the TV stand. I'm pretty sure I have the photo, so I'm going to add the photo. I had this realization around shadow work. It dawned on me that the shadow, and if you're unfamiliar with shadow, it's explained in many different ways, but essentially it's the parts of ourself, aspects of self that we try to hide. We maybe feel shame, we maybe feel guilt, we maybe feel really uncomfortable feelings around it. And so it's a part of ourselves that need to be brought to the light, that are part of us that are not bad, we just deem them as such. And so the shadow was being created due to a block in the light. And I'm going to get to the teaching in a moment because there's more to this story, friends. So the teaching didn't come then. The teaching came when I looked into the closet and there was a shadow, and I've been trying to find, I sketched it out, and I really hope I can find it. I was in a shadow class and we had to draw our shadow. And it was almost like there's this cartoon character where he had this hat and a trench coat. I'm blanking on the name, but it kind of looked like that. When I drew it, I was like, oh, that looks kind of familiar, actually. The shadow in the closet looked like that. And I was like, oh my gosh. It just came to me. I was like, wow, a way of working with shadows are shadows. Shadows, however you want to take ownership of it, is a block in the light. So if actually going into the shadow is too scary, is too hard, find the block. And now again, that kind of just sounds like therapy, right? There's many ways to do this, and this isn't really anything new. It's just a different way of understanding it that might actually resonate at a level that begins to move from an intellectual knowing into an embodied truth. So if you're doing shadow work and maybe it's feeling hard, maybe try to dig underneath or dig around. And what is the block? What is the block in the light that is creating the shadow? And now you may notice, right, when you have a shadow, it isn't necessarily directly on axis if you're thinking of a horizontal and a vertical axis. It's oftentimes at an angle. So it may not be this direct correlation between the block and the shadow. You may have to really get curious and really begin to expand. Expand outwards. And then as you begin to expand outwards, it also brings you into this small, I'm almost seeing this like well or cave, and it feels like the shadow almost exists in this small sense, this small story about it. And when we can expand around it, we can begin to almost like a flower blossoming and unfolding, and to begin to understand more of the entirety of it all. And so exploring the blocks, but in a way that expands your understanding of not only the situation, but the energy of the shadow at an individual and a collective level. And you can take this through your own family line, your ancestral line. You can take it through the DNA. You can begin to expand, see it for yourself, see it in your family, see it in your lineage, see it in your ethnicities, see it in your species. So get curious, friends. That's all for today. And Pepper wants to get down, I think, go for a walk. So do you want to say goodbye? Yes? Well, with love from Pepper and me. Until next time, friends, stay curious.